Batman hot takes, but they get progressively hotter. Starting off light 1%, I think a fundamental aspect of Batman as a character is that he should not kill. Now, it works great in certain stories, 100%, like The Dark Knight Returns, but as a general rule, he should not kill. 5%, Batman has the greatest rogues gallery of all time. I mean, like, you can't even compare this with anyone. The only guy that's in contention maybe is Spider-Man, but it's just not the same. The DCAU's Batman is the best version of Batman. Now, we're still very cold in takes because, in general, the DCAU has the best version of some of the best DC characters, including Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Flash. Speaking of the DCU's Batman, Mask of the Phantasm is the best overall Batman movie. If you've watched this movie, I don't even have to explain myself. Like, objectively, this is the best Batman movie. If we're talking strictly themes, storytelling, and characterization of Batman, no movie does it better. You can prefer The Dark Knight. Like, I prefer The Dark Knight, but I gotta admit, this one is better, specifically for Batman. Speaking of, the Bat family is way too big, like plain and simple. I love the Bat family. A lot of the characters are some of my favorite. Nightwing and Red Hood are my two favorite DC characters of all time. But beyond them and the two other Robins and Batgirl, like, who are these people? Now, spoiler is kind of connected to Tim Drake, so she's kind of like an honorary member. She's not 100% fully a part of it. Same with Catwoman, Cassandra Cain. I mean, she's great, but I think she should be in that realm too. Duke Thomas shouldn't exist. Hunter should not be a part of the Bat family, and neither should Batwoman. The Bat family should just be like these guys and Alfred. Batman is the greatest fictional character of all time. The overall impact, you can't deny that he is up there. Like, the only guy that's on his level is like Spider-Man, James Bond maybe, but because Batman has spawned so many other things like Nightwing and Red Hood and Robin and Joker, those are all under the names of Batman. 50%, the Dark Knight suit is really good. Honestly, in my opinion, one of the best live action suits. I don't know why people love to dig on it. It just looks so slick and clean. Like, you can say the mask is ugly or his voice was bad, but overall, it's just such a nice looking suit. Speaking of the Dark Knight, I think a dark and gritty, more serious, grounded Batman overall is better than a campy, supernatural Batman. If you look at the best Batman stories like The Long Halloween and The Dark Knight Returns, those are usually grounded stories. The best Batman villains like Joker, Riddler, Two-Face, those are all grounded villains. Clayface, Poison Ivy, and Mr. Freeze are all great, but they're not on the level of Joker. Now, I would say the best blend of the two is the Arkham Batman, where it's very serious, but it also has these supernatural elements and the supernatural villain, but still grounds them. 70% the Batman movie is overrated. The Penguin is great, first of all, I didn't talk about that yet, but I love the Penguin. And the Batman, I thought was a fine movie, but in no way was the best Batman movie. It wasn't better than Dark Knight, wasn't better than Batman Begins. Maybe it's like on the same tier as The Dark Knight Rises. I would honestly put Rises above the Batman because of how good the ending was. The universe they set up in this movie was phenomenal. It's better than any other Batman movie. Now, if you hate me for the Batman take, you're going to hate me for this one. I mean, I personally just think Tim Burton's Batman movies were mid. If you love it for nostalgia or that's just your cup of tea, that's fine. Personally, I just wasn't a fan. Michael Keaton's Batman as a character was just not that good. Overall, the stories to me were like fine, but compared to the other Batman stories we got, I just didn't like him as much. 90%, just as casting and appearance and presence, Batfleck is the greatest Batman. You know how I know that as a presence, Ben Affleck is the greatest Batman? If I saw the 4 live-action Batmans, the only one that would actually make me shit my pants is Ben Affleck. Now, this might contradict everything I've said in this video. It will, which is why it's 100%. But Lego Batman is just peak Batman. Like, on every metric, it's just peak Batman.